Financial GPS is just one of our many tools that we have available for you in the Circle of Wealth system. And this is just a handful to get started. But let's go ahead and open up the Financial GPS. And obviously, we have already asked this person the 4 questions and they want to see us, but let's walk through them very quickly one more time. Do you know what rate of return you need to earn doing what you're doing today to live in the future like you live today, adjusted for inflation, and still have enough to last to your life expectancy? Do you know the answer? Well, the first time we asked them that, they said no. Would you like to know? Sure, who wouldn't? How about how much you need to be saving? And then when are you going to be able to retire? How long are you going to have to work? And then finally, do you have any idea how much you're going to have to reduce your future standard of living to keep from running out? They don't know the answer to those questions, but everyone needs to know the answers, and most want to know the answers. Well, now we're going to be able to show it to them. So let's go forward to screen 2. We'll see the Financial GPS, and this is the PIM model. It allows you, as you can see, to have every conversation about any product, strategy, or concept all on this one page. I'm showing you the picture with all of the numbers in them ready to go. The first time, you're not going to have any of these filled out. You're going to go through these 7 dots, and I'll walk you through those very quickly. So the prospect that you're talking to is going to provide you with their financial information as you walk them through each of the 7 blue dots and entry points on the top of the PIM model. As you complete each of the 7 data points, the PIM picture will fill these tanks one at a time. So let's go through them real quickly here. So just so you can see how easy it is. So you plug in, you got to have their contact information. You'll list any of their financial assumptions, and we'll plug each client, their name, age, retirement age, and life expectancy. Same for the spouse, and if you want to use children, that's fine to do too. Number 2, we're going to look at their earned income. We're going to plug in all their incomes, any cash flows that are coming in, or future income sources. They give them to you, you type them in, it's that simple. The 2 tanks in the center have to do with your investments, savings, and other future resources. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Number 4, you're going to look at a mortgage or any debt. Number 5, there's their home value. And number 6 is going to be any insurance policies or other expenses like colleges and weddings. So very, very simple. I'm not going to go to number 7. We're just going to jump in here and get started. So once you complete those data points, the prospect will see their total financial picture come to life on the PIM model for the very first time, with everything all on one page. The PIM is a picture worth 1,000 words, and seeing is believing. The large tank on the left represents remaining income, capital potential adjusted for inflation. This is what they have coming in the future, and it gives them that big number, showing them exactly how much money they're going to have going through their hands. That's their salaries, defined benefits, and future inflow sources. They're all visible in green by placing your mouse over the salary, and estimated potential taxes are shown in red. So if I want to see their salary, I can just put my mouse over there and it brings up Joe's salary is at 120, Kate's is 89. So you can easily see their numbers that they gave you back when we went through all these little 7 blue dots. Great. Moving right along. So term life insurance is also in this tank. It is their income potential tank because the benefit may never be realized. So they do have a little bit of term life insurance. Joe has 250, and Kate has 25,000 at work. It's potential. So keep that in mind. The money flows through, and that's just potential. These are their income. There's nothing actually sitting in this tank. It's all going to flow through, and we'll talk about that as we go. In the very center of the PIM model, at the bottom of the picture, is a copper tube called the tax filter. It controls state and federal governments, where every dollar earned must be eventually passed through this tube right here. State and federal governments control this tube, and it handles all the taxes. So notice one other thing in this big tank up here. In our example, that term life insurance is only protecting 4% of almost $7 million. Notice that the 2 smaller tanks in the center of the model are connected. these two. On the left is the investment tank, and on the right is the savings tank. These two tanks are linked to allow dollars to be moved between one another and illustrated by the two small switch valves. These are called switch valves. The larger valves near the bottom of the future lifestyle tube between the two tanks open for distributions taken from this tank. So they allow, when you open these valves, it allows money to flow out. The switch valves allow money to go from tank to tank. The small tube running across the top here is extremely important. It's over the income tank because it allows for qualified plan contributions to be put in this tank right here. And that is the investment tank. These dollars are not taxed until they are withdrawn from the investment tank, which then must pass through the tax filter upon withdrawal before they can be spent. So the money flows in before they actually get to receive it. Otherwise, if they took cash, it got to go through the tax filter this way. Qualified plan dollars go into the tank here on the left, our investment tank. And when you take those dollars out, you open that distribution valve and look where it has to flow. It flows back through the tax filter before it can get over here for you to spend. I want you to notice something about the investment tank on the left. It has no cap. That signifies risk and the potential for loss of principal. The red over here in this tank illustrates potential tax liability upon withdrawals. The next tank over is the savings tank, and you'll notice this one has a cap, which signifies safety from the loss of principal. Interest earned may be subject to tax and is also shown in red. Let me scroll this up just a little bit higher so you can see that they have that emergency fund there. And of course, any gain on that would be taxable. Taxes that flow directly through an income, you can see the inflow coming in. This couple, our example, is 209. They net 196. Why? Because they're saving $13,000 in a qualified plan. It flowed in, but they have 196, and SI is for the spendable income, which after tax, and in this case, it's going to show you the tax, $46,385 they're going to have to pay in taxes, and they are left over after passing that tax filter with 162,615 for them to be able to spend on their lifestyle. The fourth tank is this one right here, and it holds debt, and debt is always in red. It also holds mortgage loans. So debt is a financial obligation in which the only one has to pay for it is from money they've yet to earn. And that's what makes it debt. The mortgage loans are not considered debt because the house is mostly most often worth more than the actual loan balance. And you'll see here their house is worth $750 and they only owe $618. So we don't consider that debt. So the tank on the far right shows the home value, and it's in yellow. And potential capital gains are shown in red if there is any, as you see on the right-hand side of the tank. So the first 6 blue dots take about 15 minutes to enter, and then you want to move forward to screen 3 to answer those 4 questions. Very, very easy. The greatest thing about this tool is it allows your prospect to see all of their finances all on one page. So let's go on forward to screen 3. This is the last screen of the Financial GPS. So screen 3 illustrates the numerical data where you'll be able to share the answers to the 4 most important financial questions that we all want to know. You'll notice first the present position on the left and the revised position over here on the right. And this first session is only going to be on the present position. So that's where we want to start looking. This is how old they are now. Their lifestyle spending is $66,195. Lifestyle spending is every dollar they are spending above the dollars they gave you in those first 6 blue dots. Now, let's scroll down using the slider over here on the right and show them where they're financially at retirement. So they're going to be at age 65 is when they said they wanted to retire. And here are their numbers. Now, this is important for you to know. Their lifestyle spending is 130. If I click on 130, you'll see that that's exactly the same as they are right now. They need 130 in income to be able to live like they live today. In the future, that's how much they're going to need. And how much is 130? Well, it's 66,000 adjusted for inflation. So here's the power. Let's scroll down and show them not only when they want to retire, but they wanted to retire at 65. We showed them that, but age 79 is when they're out of money. Keep in mind that there are 4 solutions, and each solution can solve any shortfall alone by themselves. The first one's increased rate of return. That's the percentage on the top of the blue box represents the global return for all the accounts listed from the 6 blue dots that you filled in earlier. This will not be the return that they think they're earning. Most clients and prospects are going to think they're earning a lot more, but this is the global return, if you will. So now let's click on the increase rate of return button. Then the calculate button, we want to calculate it this time. We'll click on that button to see the required return necessary to solve the shortfall using only rate of return. Now you're going to get this little pop-up that tells you, okay, how long do you want to do this? Well, they already gave us this number right here, which is their life expectancy that they gave us. That's how long they want to fund those dollars. And now we hit calculate. When you calculate this, it's going to give you the message on the top, and you can see the additional risk when chasing higher rate of return. So now, to solve this problem with return, they need to earn 7.47 in this example. In yellow here, you'll notice, let's click on that to get that return is 27% more risk than they're taking right now. So how do you feel about taking more risk to solve the problem? Well, obviously, if we can help them solve that problem without taking that kind of risk, they're all ears. If they could earn that money, that kind of interest rate, well, that would solve the problem. Instead of running out at age 79, the bold is going to illustrate how long they will have those incomes coming in, that much longer. And obviously, it's going to get them all the way out here to their life expectancy. So if you click there, it gives you to make sure that the whole time they're in, they're going to have that same standard of living all the way, which is very important. So click the lifestyle spending, and it'll give you the lifestyle present value as well. All right. So the bold dollars, remember again, when it's in bold, it's going to show you exactly how much they will need to have in addition to what they were going to have before. So that's why they ran out prematurely at age 79 on the rate of return that they were earning before. Great. Let's go ahead. So you want to make sure that every time you go through this, you reset. Otherwise, you'll be jumbling up the numbers. So let's go to save more this time. So they're currently saving $1,500 a month or $18,000 a year. Well, let's see how much they need to be saving, if that's going to be enough. Again, we're going to hit calculate savings required. They're going to go out to age 90. We hit calculate, and what it's saying is you need to increase your savings by an additional $12,684 a year, or $1,057 a month. That's in addition to what you're doing. You need to be saving $30,000 a year, not the amount you were saving previously. Now, when people see that number, what are they thinking? Oh man, where am I going to come up with that $1,000? Well, that's where you're going to come in play to handle that discussion. So let's go over here. Let's do like we did before. You can go up to the top and show them their numbers. That's what they're spending. But if they don't save more, they're going to, they could reduce their standard of living. We don't want them to have to do that. So we're going to scroll down and see when they would run out of money. Well, we already know that they're going to run out at age 79. But if they do save $30,000 a year and they earn the rates that they were showing, and in this case, it's the 5.87. If they average 5.87 across the board and save that additional, they're going to have enough money to make it all the way to their life expectancy. And they're pretty excited about that, but they have an issue with trying to figure out where to get that 1,057 a month. Moving right along. Let's go to work longer. Not many people excited about that, but working longer is an option. Now that we have both husband and wife here, they're both numbers there, 65. They're both age 65 at retirement. Now it's telling us, hey, you want to solve this problem by working longer? You can do it without saving any more. You can do it without trying to earn any higher interest. You're just going to have to work longer. So if you work till you're age 70, that would give you enough money for you to retire and still have enough money to last to your life expectancy. And that same amount of money adjusted for inflation, and it would last all the way to age 90. In this case, it works out pretty good. They get a couple extra 2 or 3 years there. And then finally, spend less. Spend less. No, nobody wants to do that one, right? They're not interested in spending less, but it is an option. So let's click on spend less and let's go through the same exercise. So if you're going to spend less, what you're going to have to do, and I like to show it this way. The year before they retire, they're earning $126,000 a year, and we know how much that is at $66,000 of lifestyle. Now, they're going to have to reduce their standard of living 38.89%. And if they will do that, they would have enough money to last all the way to their life expectancy. Past age 79, when they were originally going to run out, if they didn't start doing something different. And that's a problem. So there's our 4 options. Find a better return. And I've got this little blue button here. It'll give me across the board. So you're currently earning 5.87. You really need 7.47. Saving, you're saving $18,000 a year. You need to be saving $30,000 a year. Not going to work, right? Work longer? Well, you're hoping to retire at 65. Now you're going to have to work to 70, both of you. Spend less? Well, you're going to have to cut back, and you're not going to be able to spend those same resources. So it gives you all the information. Instead of 130, you're only going to be able to spend $6,600 a month for $79,000 a year. The key to this is it shows they have a problem. So once you've completed all 4 of these, your prospect will want to see you, and they're interested in finding help. So we have a great report here. I'm going to illustrate it to you. Right here, you click the little print button, and we have lots of reports. But the one I want to focus on in this conversation is the financial GPS report. And this is why we call it the financial GPS. The GPS can't get you where you want to go unless it knows where you are. So here's Joe and Kate prospect, and here's your report. So I'll go through these questions with the prospect, show them their answers. I'm not going to solve any answers with them right now, but I'm going to walk them through so they can see, hey, they do have a problem, and they're going to be looking for someone to help them fix it. So here's the financial GPS. Here's our introduction. GPS is about the rate of return. What is that? That's speed, how fast they're going to be able to go. Savings required is the cost of fuel for this trip. Work longer is the estimated time of arrival. And we've seen that already. And they can spend less, which means they're going to have to reroute from their current destination desires. Here's their results in graph. The black line represents where they are. The green line represents where they need to be to live like they desire in the future currently. And there's how much they should be saving, how long it's going to take. And then here's what's going to happen. They're going to have to reroute here because they're going to be out of money sooner than they expected. So there's our summary. It gives you the information, and you're really going to like this sheet right here. So here's all their documentation. And when I get here, I really want to go through with them and send this home with them. I'll email it while I'm sitting there to them. And I want to make sure that they've got all the information that we're going to need listed. When they look at this list and compare it at home, they may find places where they have other resources that they didn't tell you, and a chance for you to put those in the model the next time you visit. One of the things a lot of people miss is the potential for an inheritance. So we can show them how that might have a huge impact too. So make sure you're going to ask them if they'd like you to help them try to improve their present position, and hopefully doing that without them having to change their current lifestyle to do it. Lifestyle is important to people, and they're not looking to change that. If you ask them, that they all want more, but they would like to have it exactly the same as it is. So schedule that next session, and at your next meeting, you'll review your strategies and options that are available to them, and you're going to build a revised position to illustrate your suggestions and products to compare against their present position. And you're going to be able to do that side by side. And I'm going to walk you over there and show you that. So here's a little button right here. This is their present position, which you just walked through. So you're going to go back to your office before the next time you meet, and you're going to figure out the products, goods, and services that could help them. And once you have a plan that can help the client, call to reschedule your next appointment. You build your revised position, change things, and then you'll be able to show your recommendations side by side. And obviously, you're going to want your recommendations to be at a place where it's moving the client ahead. So if you can't improve the present position for a prospect, you don't have a prospect. If you can, you're going to have a client for life.
So I'll share, my experience with Circle of Wealth. So as a real quick background, I've been in the insurance industry for about 8 years or so. And, prior to getting involved in the Circle of Wealth, I attended presentations like this pretty much for about a year. Our FMO would have someone come in and talk about Circle of Wealth, and I saw the product demoed, and I just kind of like, it's just another one of those, tools. And last September, I decided, well, you know what? I've got some free time here. Let me, try the software out. I got the 2-week trial. And during that 2 weeks, I literally, spent almost the entire week going through as much of the free training that was available at the Circle of Wealth. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me that this was software which was so much more than what I had seen in the demos. So a month later, I jumped on board. I bought the software. I went to their annual convention in January. I got COVID, so I had to do it remotely. And then, signed up for some additional courses. But here's what I'll tell you. Prior to, joining the Circle of Wealth community and using this tool, at best, I was probably an average insurance agent. I in fact, before this call, I looked up to see, okay, well, what does an average insurance agent make? And unfortunately, there's not any good numbers out there. So I'll just say I was on the lower side of that. Enough to pay the bills, but nothing fancy. And in the almost year that I've been using the Circle of Wealth, and understand that I have not changed anything. I use the same FMO. I do the same advertising. I do the exact same webinar. Nothing has changed, except I started utilizing the tools within the Circle of Wealth to be able to better communicate with my clients. And I will tell you that, as of, today's date, July 25th, I'm on target to over 5 times my income this year versus what I had prior to the Circle of Wealth. And so, I will, shout from the rooftops, about how this has changed, my practice for the better. It's given me the resources to go out and be able to get more training and get more tools to be able to even do better things, because it all starts with having the money in the first place. My clients love it. I can't tell you the number of times that I've had clients that said, "Hey, I've never seen anything like this. Who came up with this? This helps me understand my finances so much better." And so, I'm just grateful that I, took that step almost a year ago, tried the demo out, took the training, and of course, all the support from everybody, at Money Track. So that's my story.
If you watch this short video, you can be using this tool tomorrow. Click the order form for cost and ordering information.